how to tell the truth. Folks, I give you my word as a Biden, I would not be running again if I didn't believe with all my heart and soul I can do this job. Because
During the interview with MSNBC News, Jamie Harrison, the chairman of the Democratic National Committee, talked about the implications of the most recent presidential debate. He acknowledged that President Biden had a difficult night, but he attacked former President Trump for giving a dishonest performance. Harrison drew attention to Trump's deceptive remarks made during a rally in North Carolina. This emphasizes how important it is to consider the bigger picture of the issues at hand, rather than focusing solely on debate performances and the high stakes of the impending election. The conversation emphasized how important it is for people to take the big picture into account when selecting a president.
Democratic National Committee Chairman Jamie Harrison. Mr. Chairman, let's get right into the debate. It was a rough night for President Biden, but a deeply dishonest one for Trump. The president spoke about his performance at a rally in North Carolina Friday. Take a listen.
President Biden noted during the debate that he has no more beautiful voice as he did before when he was young, implying that to impress the youth with their support, he talked with courage that he is still capable of telling the truth by emphasizing Trump for speaking lies and just lies. He promised that if he didn't genuinely think he could do the job with all of his heart and soul, he wouldn't be running for president again. Biden emphasized how important the election is and how high the stakes are, which is why he is determined to run for office once more. He impressed the audience highly and won huge support. Even many Trump supporters changed their plans to vote. Therefore, this was a big shock for Trump. So, do you want to hear what Biden said that people changed their minds? Let's watch this shot.
I don't walk as easy as I used to. I don't speak as smoothly as I used to. I don't debate as well as I used to. But I know what I do know. I know how to tell the truth. Folks, I give you my word as a Biden, I would not be running again if I didn't believe my heart and soul I can do this job. Because quite frankly, the stakes are too high. The stakes are too high.
The latest debate between U.S. President Joe Biden and U.S. President Donald Trump was an intense exchange of ideas regarding significant issues confronting the country. They talked about foreign policy, immigration, and the economy, demonstrating their divergent perspectives on the future of the nation. First, President Biden discussed the state of the economy. He admitted that rising prices, or inflation, have been difficult for people's finances. He claimed the pandemic had exacerbated the weak and poor economy he inherited from Trump. Biden stressed that he has been putting a lot of effort into making changes.
Mr. Trump left me. We had an economy that was in free fall. The pandemic was so badly handled. Many people were dying. All he said was, it's not that serious. I said those jobs. We make sure we had a situation where we brought down the price of prescription drugs, which is a major issue for many people, to $15 for.
A reporter then highlighted the New York Post and brought attention to an editorial board request for Biden to withdraw from the campaign. And he asked Mr. Jamie Harrison about this call.
The New York Times editorial board has called for Biden to leave the race.
So, Harrison made it clear to reporters during a press conference that the recent call with party leaders was merely a routine update on the election's progress and plans for the convention, which is scheduled to take place in Chicago. Despite Biden's admission that he isn't debating as well as he once was, Harrison underlined that what counts is his resilience and his capacity to pick himself up in the face of difficulties.
I think the media is making the call out to be a lot more than what it was. It's a regularly scheduled call that we have with our party leaders to just update them on the state of the race, our path to victory. We talked about the convention that's coming up in Chicago and preparations for that.
Further, regarding President Biden's most recent remarks, he claimed that while he might not be able to argue as well as he once could, it is still important for him to have resilience or the capacity to pick himself up after failures. And he also emphasized that Biden has been criticizing political supporters of a convicted felon who has also been accused of sexual assault since the debate. On the other hand, $27 million have been raised by Biden's grassroots supporters.
He said he doesn't debate as well as he used to, but when he gets knocked down, he gets back up. And that's the real important part of understanding this. Rev, since that debate, Biden calling out the lies from the 34-count convicted felon who is also liable of sexual assault in terms of Donald Trump, our grassroots supporters have helped us raise $27 million.
Speaking on small dollar donors' support for political campaigns, he emphasized that these donors give because they think the candidate has a chance to win and that the politician needs their support to remain strong. Moreover, he reported that after the debate, polls have shown that Joe Biden is gaining momentum, showing his strong support. And further, he criticizes Trump by explaining this by claiming that voters recognize Donald Trump as the serial liar that he is.
Strong. And that's what we have seen post this debate. I've even seen some polls that show that Joe Biden got a little bounce coming off of the debate because they saw Donald Trump for who he is, a liar, someone who...
He further criticizes the fact that Trump faced backlash for his multiple lies during the debate. Many view this as mishandling since he gave false information about how he handled the pandemic. In addition, he misrepresented his efforts toward veterans, even though his policies were criticized for having a negative impact on them. He also underlined that Americans are gravely concerned about Trump's dishonesty on these important subjects, which has been demonstrated throughout debates.
He has lied about every single thing on that debate stage. He lied about the pandemic because he botched that. He lied about what the disaster. He lied about what he did for veterans because he was a disaster for.
Does the New York Times editorial suggest that President Biden should resign? Have you heard from anyone in the field who feels this way? Are they suggesting that Biden should think about resigning?
Told you that they feel or that they're hearing that people want President Biden to step aside. I referred to the New York Times editorial. Are you hearing anything from your people on the field, or are they hearing from constituents that Mr. Biden, the President of the United States, ought to consider stepping aside?
So he claimed that the public isn't saying that Biden should resign, despite some commentators and pundits like those at the New York Times recommending he do so. In actuality, Biden has a lot of support, particularly among the black community. Rather than calling for his resignation, the public is uniting behind him.
You hear the hand-wringing coming from pundits, Rev, and from op-eds like the New York Times, but you don't hear it from the people. What I've seen is a galvanization, particularly in the black community. Yeah, I'm a black man. I've seen a galvanization of support for Joe Biden.
Furthermore, he explained the fact why the majority of the black community supports Biden. He claims that it's like a family in the black community, where one can express one's opinions about a family member with...
Welcome to my channel, a long time. Please subscribe my channel and watch my video. Thanks.